start streaming. There we go. And then Telegram. Boom, boom, boom. Live chat. We should be online. And a 1 and a 2 and a 1. There we go. All right. Copy paste to Telegram. Let the boys know we are live. All right. And now we just, of course, all right. Welcome, guys. And let me know if you guys can hear me, of course, starting off, and then we'll go ahead and dive in on the weekend. Kind of a random live stream here, but I just wanted to just touch base on everything that's happened, kind of market moves. Thanks, Big Poppy. Yeah, okay. So I wanted to talk about Bitcoin, the current trade setup. A lot of you guys have been asking me why I've been quiet about Bitcoin, and the reason why was, of course, because I was paying attention to the 100K region. Now, the 100K region is the zone we want to pay attention to, of course, from a psychological standpoint. A lot of traders here are going to be paying attention to 100K just from news articles or anything. When Bitcoin does end up hitting that level, or of course even breaking that level, it's going to cause a massive move in the overall crypto market. $100,000 Bitcoin is something that people have dreamed about for a very long time, and that's something that you want to pay attention to as well. Now, earlier this morning, I mentioned to you guys that we're looking for our 20 exponential moving average retest. You can see that as of right now, Bitcoin is looking to complete that retest, so that's why we are not really trading Bitcoin. We just want to let the chop play out. The question, of course, becomes is what's going to happen once we get the 20 EMA retest? We have to see a candle close above that position, but we are not looking for a long position right when it hits 20, and there's a few reasons for that, right? And I've talked to you guys about this before as well. You don't necessarily want to catch a falling knife if it does end up seeing a corrective move. Here, let me just lower that down. All right, there we go. So you don't necessarily want to get a corrective move if that move set does end up completing, right? So you want to be very cautious here. And if Bitcoin does end up breaking below that level, then you don't necessarily want to get caught out. So what you do instead is you simply just wait for the 20 exponential moving average to close. So once we see a candle close above that zone, then there's two possibilities here for Bitcoin. Number one, of course, we end up retesting the 9 EMA, and that's going to be the important part. If Bitcoin ends up hitting the 20 like this and then seeing a reversal, we can't use the 9 EMA as resistance, because if that flips to resistance, then that's a confirmation of a bearish setup. And then, of course, we might see a larger correction move, right? Instead, though, if we do see a 20 and a close back above, then we have the worst case scenario already played out. I've talked to you guys about this many times before as well, is when you have the 9 and the 20 already tested, and then you start seeing Bitcoin end up retesting the highs of the resistance, that is a good confirmation for you to take long positions comfortably. Reason why is because you know that at a worst case scenario, the 9 has been tested, the 20 has been tested, we closed above, we're using a support. There's multiple reasons why that works out. And then, of course, you can look for your continuation trade. So that's what I'm paying attention to as of right now on Bitcoin. Now on Ethereum, I'm going to be honest, I went to bed, I missed this trade setup, so I'm not even going to say, oh yeah, we took a long position, we made money. No, I'm not like that. So we missed the trade setup on Ethereum. This was quite simple, actually. I mean, I think some whales caught it. I don't think everyone caught it. I think some folks did catch it. But looking at Ethereum, we were testing the 3,400 region. So we did catch this move overall. But then you can see that Ethereum actually ended up retesting the EMAs. And then we started retesting the same resistance again. So remember, the more times a resistance level is tested, the higher chances of it actually breaking. And you can see that Ethereum was still using the EMAs as support. So you can see the EMA started getting closer and closer to the resistance, and it kept retesting, and then we saw the breakout opportunity. You have to be careful when you see something like this, and this goes for those of you that are shorting or, of course, looking for shorts and you think the market can't go any higher. This is the problem. If the market continues to retest the EMAs as support, and, of course, retesting the resistance multiple times, that's a bullish confirmation. On a bearish setup, we would see something like this, where the market ends up hitting the resistance, then breaking below the exponential moving averages. That's the point of the EMAs, is they're supposed to guide you on the trade setup. So you can see the same exact trade happen here twice, right? So the first one was 3,400 retest, then we broke below the EMAs, and then we saw a drop down to the 3,000 range. Then the same reason, we hit 3,400 as resistance again, but then we saw the EMAs being used as support. That's why the exponential moving averages are so beneficial for trading. The 9 and the 20 will tell you a much better picture of what to expect in the current market. Now, let's talk about Cardano, right? So real quick before we jump ahead in Cardano, you can see that, again, Bitcoin is going for the 20 EMA. It's going to slowly cascade and bring altcoins with it. That's the unfortunate part for altcoins, which you have to be very careful of. If you do get caught out in a position, is of course, if Bitcoin ends up correcting, you're going to end up getting absolutely wrecked holding these trades. So now on Cardano this morning, I said, look, if we're looking for a long position here, we are simply just waiting for the wick high break. Again, wick high break. You can see that the candle here got close, but it didn't quite break or even test the wick high. That's why it's being very, very careful, is when you are so overbought in these altcoins, you want to be very precise with your trade setups. You don't necessarily want to get caught out on trades, and you can see that as of right now, this is what getting caught out on trade looks like, right? A strong bearish engulfing, and then retesting the exponential moving averages. So that's why I always tell you guys, look, if you're looking for these trade setups, we have to be patient with our wicks. So let's talk about Doge, right? This is disgusting, right? This sucks. But again, I gave you the warning yesterday, right? I gave you the warning yesterday in Telegram. I said, look, if the 44-cent region ends up breaking, then of course Doge has a very strong possibility of a squeeze. That happened, but the difference was that we didn't end up closing above the 44-cent range for a swing position. Instead, the market did a very nice squeeze, right? We entered a scalp long position, and I'll explain the setup again to you guys for those of you that are watching and you don't understand, but look at the 42-cent region, right? So this was the first setup rather on this resistance. And I said, look, if this wick high ends up breaking, we take a long position for a scalp. We saw the break, and then immediately after, Dogecoin made a secondary candle, and then we broke again. So we traded this break, and then we traded this break. Both breaks were extremely profitable, but I told you guys is please take your positions and scalp them. Do not swing Doge. Reason why is because, again, we did not have confirmation on 44 cents being used as support. If we go here on the daily time frame, you will also notice that we've had zero corrective moves on Doge pretty much this whole way through. If that was the liquidity grab, if that was the wick high, and now we see a correction, there's going to be a lot of sad folks in this market that ended up getting absolutely destroyed. And that's why I tell you guys, we are in a scalping market. We are not in a swing market. We are in a swing market when we close above on 44 cents, retest as support, then you can swing to 75 cents. But the problem is, of course, look at the daily structure as of right now in Doge. Do you see what the issue is, right? So look at the current trade setup. At 44 cents on the previous highs, so on the previous daily resistance, we saw multiple wicks to 44. But look what happened. Tested 44, dropped down to 36. We saw the corrective move down to 23. And then again, we saw another retest. This is where things get extremely difficult for a lot of traders. You are better off just scalping the market than guessing what a swing position is going to look like. You will notice, though, that, of course, if I were to go on the 4-hour time frame here and then zoom out completely here, so let me go all the way back, bear with me. So look what happened here on the 44 cent range, and this is very important, right? You can see that on 44, once we ended up breaking above, we saw that continuation trade. The EMAs lined up perfectly, everything was pushing higher, right? So again, retest, higher, continued pushing, EMAs continued pushing, then we hit the 75 cent region, but look what happened next. Then we retested 44 as support, and that's what we have to be very careful of. Yes, the initial squeeze was massive, but again, right now, looking at Doge, if you look at that trade setup to the current trade setup, I don't think this looks identical by any means. And the problem is, you can see that as of right now, Doge, of course, has failed to hold 44 cents as support. The reason why I sit there and scream at you and tell you and say, look, take your profits, take your profits, take your profits. Last night, you guys saw that whale that had like $10,000 or $7,000 in that Doge trade. I said, take your profits. And the reason why is okay. I get it. the market can still push higher. You can get more, right? You can get more. That everyone understands that. We don't know when the correction is going to happen. But if you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% like a trade open for that much, and you're guaranteeing yourself that if you close this trade, you are guaranteeing that profit for yourself, why not just take that profit? Why not just close that trade? And that's my logic for a lot of you guys, because some of you guys like holding your trades for the big trades, and then the market corrects, and then you're underwater, and then you get liquidated, and then you close, and you're like, wow, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. The problem is you really need to start sitting down with yourself and taking those profits. I don't care how much money you are up. Take the profits, reevaluate the trade setup, and mostly on weekends. Yesterday, I told you guys in Telegram that, look, I don't like Doge breaking out on a weekend. It's usually manipulation, and that's exactly what we saw right now, right? It's a little too early to say, of course, because, again, this is dependent on Bitcoin and the 20 exponential moving average. If Bitcoin ends up closing above, then we could see altcoins continue running, but if it doesn't, and we actually see Bitcoin collapse from the 20 EMA, guys, it is going to catch a lot of traders out, and a lot of folks are going to lose a lot of money. So that's why I keep telling you guys, please be aggressive with your trade setups. I don't care how much money you are up, just take what you can get. I will give you guys the trades, right? You guys have seen how the channel works for Telegram, and of course, those of you that are new, the Telegram is completely free. I will go ahead and link it again. It is a completely free channel, but it's basically where I put the trade setups and everything. But you can see that I give you the trade. I tell you, look, Doge is going to break out of 0.42, right? So when Doge breaks out of 0.42, we enter a long position, right? So we played the first trade. The first trade was a wick high. So this is a wick high for those of you that are new. This is a wick high. The way we trade is if this wick high ends up breaking, we enter a long position. So you can see it got close to the wick high, but it didn't quite break it, right? So again, we have to wait for a break. Then we saw the break formation. So we entered a long position here, and it was a massive long position from 42 cents into the highs of 48 cents. Regardless of leverage, that was a very profitable night for us last night. So now, of course, then the question, this is where a lot of traders struggle. I don't care if the take profit level is 75 cents, and I've explained this to you guys multiple times before as well. Doge is not just going to go from 42 straight to 75 like this. There's no way Doge is going to do this. Straight all those 75 and then come back down. That's not how it works. What you're going to see instead is you're going to see something like this. You're going to see a lot of chop on the way to 75. But the deciding factor, the deciding factor for Doge is closing above 44 cents, because what you don't want to see is a situation like this. Do you guys remember when I told you guys about manipulation candles? Remember when I told you guys and taught you guys about manipulation candles? What is a manipulation candle? A manipulation candle is a candle with no wick. Do you see this candle that was created on Doge last night? Do you see the problem with this candle? Look at this candle. There is no wick. This is just immediately buy pressure coming into the market on a weekend, on a Saturday. That always 99% of the time ends up correcting. And look what happened next. The market ends up correcting, taking out all of these traders here, wicks them down to the 20 exponential moving average. And this is where things get interesting. On the 20 exponential moving average, they end up hitting that zone. And then, of course, everyone becomes extremely bearish. They enter shorts on the 20, and then it starts being bought back up. There are two sides to this trade, right? There are two sides to this trade, and this is like really advanced 4-hour technical analysis, which I haven't taught you guys yet, and I don't want to teach you because, again, I don't want you guys counter trading yourselves, but this is a different level of trading. But let's just overall look at Doge in general. But Doge right now, again, if we haven't broken above 44 cents and held it as support, it is not a swing position. Instead, it's a scalping position. And you can see with Bitcoin collapsing right now, and yes, it is looking for that 20 exponential moving average, it will end up being used as a magnet. If we lose the 20 EMA, let me put into perspective of where the next area of support is. It's at 93,000. If we were to see something like this on Bitcoin, this is going to cause massive panic, and with massive panic, you start seeing larger red candles. And then again, if we look at it from a larger perspective, look at where Bitcoin is without any sort of corrective move. Bitcoin started at 69,000 during the elections, which of course we took those long positions, right? We had a massive plays up there. Since then, we have not broken below the exponential moving averages. And again, that's the only thing why we are only looking for long positions as of right now. But I promise you, if Bitcoin ends up losing the 20 and closing below it, we are not going long anymore. That is going to change the way the market reacts. And the reason why, and I'll show you something, is from the previous bull run. For those of you that remember, look at the previous bull run and what happened, right? Market came up, right? Everyone's making money right here, 19,000, right? This was the previous bull run high. We squeezed. So think of this as the Trump candle, right? When Trump won, we had the massive candle. This is where we are. So the market came up, but look, it respected the same exponential moving averages the whole way through. When did it stop respecting it? When it broke below the exponential moving averages. If I go on the 4-hour time frame, you will see how it broke. But when it broke the EMAs, that was a bearish confirmation. That was a corrective move. It went from 41 down to 28 within a few days. A lot of people lost a lot of money. But then again, the market came back and then we continued pushing higher. Just because I say that, yes, we are expecting a corrective move doesn't mean that the bull run is over. Oh my God, everyone close your spot positions. It's over. We're going zero. That's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is to understand the fact that if, of course, Bitcoin does end up seeing a rejection, how deep can the rejection go? So here's the here's the evaluation on the daily time frame. As of right now, we have not tested the 9 EMA. We have not tested the 9 EMA since all the way down at 76,000 to put into perspective how much euphoria is in this market. From 76,000 all the way till now, we have not even tested the 9 exponential moving average on the daily time frame. So to put it into perspective for you that yes, if Bitcoin ends up losing the 20 exponential moving average on the 4-hour time frame, it'll give you a better understanding of where exactly we can go. The first level again is 93,475. That is the exponential moving average, so that's how deep a correction can go. Second level, of course, if that breaks, is 87,900. If, of course, Bitcoin ends up still holding above these zones. So if we end up seeing a retest and above, then ladies and gentlemen, 100,000 will end up breaking, and we might even see 110 or 120 before any sort of larger correction. That's the main deciding factor as of right now. So how would I be trading this if I was looking at Bitcoin right now? Well, simply, I would just be sitting on my hands and not touching it. The reason why is because if we don't necessarily want to enter a long position here, because again, we don't have any sort of confirmation on Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin loses this, then Doge collapses as well. But if, of course, the market closes above, then retests as support, then we have our confirmations for Doge. Any altcoin you see, whatever you want to trade, then you can go and be happy and do whatever you want. But until Bitcoin decides what it wants to do, nobody should be looking for swing trade setups. I have explained this to you guys many, many, many times before, is that follow Bitcoin and you will understand where your trade setups are going to go. When Bitcoin is rallying, of course, dominance drops a little bit. We see altcoins go parabolic. And here's a perfect example of this. XRP, Cardano, HBAR, Algo, all of these coins did 30-40% gains in a matter of like a day or two, right? So yesterday, even on HBAR's trade, let me go find HBAR for you guys real quick. But even on HBAR yesterday, we ended up taking a long position on the wick high. I didn't expect it to go all the way up to 17 cents. I don't think anyone did, right? So you can see the same trade setup, and this is why I teach you guys a 4-hour time frame is look, right here was a trade setup. I said, look, if wick high ends up breaking at 0.1537, then we enter a long position. We entered a scalp long position all the way up into 0.17. From a leverage perspective, that is a lot of money, right? And it was a very simple trade. We were patient, we waited, we saw the break, we entered, we longed, we closed for profit. And the reason why, and again, I'm explaining this to you one more time, the reason why we did not swing HBAR, we did not hold HBAR, we did not ride it all the way up, is because you can see that the market ended up coming back down, closing below the 0.154. The market can reverse extremely fast, and the reason why we're not swinging once again is look at HBAR's perspective. We came all the way up from 0.06 since the election up to 0.17. Why would we swing at 0.15 major resistance and enter a long position if the market ends up correcting here? We literally longed the top. Does that make any sense? No, and that's why I tell you guys there's no reason for you guys to be trading like this. Just enter scalp positions. And again, scalp positions, the way we trade is not the 15-minute, 30-minute. No, we are trading 4-hour scalp positions, and it's extremely profitable if we can catch the trade setup. And that's why I tell you guys, be patient. There are 4 hours that happen every candlestick. You don't have to sit here and stare at the chart for 4 hours. Go do something with your life. Go touch grass, come back in 4 hours, reevaluate the trade setup, and enter if you need to. If there is no trade, there is no trade. Do not force a trade. Do not hunt for a trade. If there is no trade posted in Telegram, that simply means either I am busy, or, of course, the fact that I don't see anything. You can tell me, oh, look at this, oh, look at that, oh, look. I'm not going to look at it because, again, if Bitcoin is correcting, I don't want to look at anything, right? There's no reason to look at anything because, again, if Bitcoin is collapsing, everything is going to collapse. Why would it make sense for me to go ahead and go look for an altcoin setup and say, okay, guys, this looks good to me, and then Bitcoin drops $2,000, and now my altcoin setup got flushed, and now everyone's liquidated, and they're looking at me like, what the hell was that? So that's my point, is you guys need to understand, I am responsible for 2,000 of you. It is a lot of pressure for me to send the proper setups. And again, sometimes I don't send a trade is because I don't have a setup. If you go through my channel on Telegram, you will see our hit rate is extremely, extremely accurate. And the reason why is because I only send the best setups that I see. If I miss a trade, sometimes I miss trades because I'm busy or something's going on, then fine, I missed a trade. But that's the whole point, is to learn how I trade, and you replicate that in your own trading style so you don't miss these trade setups, right? I'm one guy. I don't have a team. I don't have anything. I'm one person. So everything I do for you guys is just me. So that's the point of the conversation, is if I'm missing something, if I don't see something, but you see it, then take it, learn from it, and if it's profitable, great, then reevaluate your trade setups over and over and over until you start doing it extremely profitable. The reason why a lot of these whales that have joined the whale chat, and again, it's still free, right? There's nothing I'm charging here. The reason why a lot of these guys are making a lot of money is because, again, they've taken the strategy to a different level. They are holding their trade setups, they're entering properly, they're executing properly, and they are making a larger profitable zone. They're making a lot of money, and that's why. Nothing special. I'm not secretly sending them trades like, okay, guys, we're not going to tell the main chat. We're going to enter here. No one's going to know anything. No, that's not the point. I don't do that. Everything I post is posted in main chat first, and then I go talk to the other chats and say, hey, by the way, this is this. But again, like, the point is, everyone should be on the same page every single time. Every single trade, every single resistance, every single support, everyone's chart should be exactly the same. And I've talked about this many times. There is no excuse. There is no excuse for you to say, oh, Pingu, my charts are my exchange charts. No, I have given you the charts, right? So again, you're watching my screen right now. So if we go to my profile, I don't even know my profile. Yeah, so right here. So here are all my charts. So let's say like Dogecoin to the moon, Ethereum trade, Bitcoin chart. So all you do if you want to copy it, you click on Ethereum trade, and I'm going to show you guys real quick. You click on Ethereum trade. I'll post in the chat too. So here's the link to that. You find my profile, you find Pingu charts, you find Ethereum, and then right here, these 3 dots, you click grab this chart. And what that does, it'll copy all of the lines that I have posted on your chart setup as well. So there's no reason for you guys to say, I don't have it. No, there's no reason. Everything is posted for you guys perfectly. So again, that's the point, right? So I don't want to see anyone say, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. No. I have given it to you. There's no excuse anymore of you not to be able to find these trades or these chart setups. So anyways, yes. So again, you guys understand what I'm saying for Bitcoin and everything. So like right now, let's chop play. Don't enter long positions on Bitcoin. Just let the market come to you. Once we see a candle close above the 20, that doesn't mean we enter long positions. We wait for the 9 EMA to be tested. So something like this, we're waiting for the close, retest as support. And then, of course, if we start seeing Bitcoin start heading back into the 100K region, then we enter a long. And the reason why is because we're expecting at least a retest of 100, so that's guaranteed. The 100K is at least guaranteed for the resistance aspect of it. If we break, great. We entered a massive long position and profited. Otherwise, why would you enter here? Because now look at the risk aspect of it, right? So right here, if you enter a long position, you don't know the candle has not closed. It's 2.5 hours till the candle closes. If the market ends up cascading from here, you pretty much long the top of Bitcoin. And of course, the draw or the risk aspect of it is all the way down to 93,000 and lower. That equals liquidation. So that's the point. If there's no trade set up, do not trade. And I tell you guys this all the time. I will not send you something if I'm not comfortable in it, right? So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Last but not least, guys, we are ranked 7 on Blowfin for overall P&L and trading. So if you want to join the team, the link is in the bio. The rewards are massive. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got, really. It's just a quick little Saturday session. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Last night's video on Doge is probably the largest video I've ever done. So I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the likes. As always, guys, like, look, the only, like, you guys always say, oh, Pingu, I want to donate. I want to do this. I want to do that. I don't want your donations. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. All I would like is a comment and a like. That's it. Because my goal, I don't think I'm going to hit it if I'm being honest with you. But my goal for this year end was 10,000 subscribers. I'm at like 7,900 or whatever. But every video I post, every comment, every like makes a big difference because it pushes out to the algorithm, and then more people join the Telegram, and again, more people make money, yada, yada. You get the point. So yeah, so I appreciate you guys. And thanks for everything. Thanks for all the comments and everything. I'm so happy for you guys. I genuinely am. I'm genuinely happy you guys make a lot of money from this. And like I said, you guys have gotten it. You guys are paying your bills. You guys are paying your mortgages and everything from this. But my end of goal, or rather end of a conversation point, is that, look, money is great. Money is awesome. You know, it makes you happy. It's financial freedom. Less stress in your life. Cool. But again, just it's okay to take some time off and spend it with family, touch grass, do whatever you need to, because again, the psychological of trading is very draining. Take some days off. Saturdays are my days off. Usually, like I said, I don't really trade on Saturdays. I just want to do a live session so everyone is on the same page. But Saturdays, usually, like I said, just chill, enjoy life, do whatever you need to. And Sunday night is when we come back to trading. And that's when we start analyzing again. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. No one bother me and message me and ask me for setups. I'm not going to give them. It is Saturday. Take the day off. Let Bitcoin do its thing. And then come back tomorrow night. If you see a trade set up on altcoins, like I said, if you really want to take it, use low leverage. Thank you guys for coming. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Peace out.